Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is one of my first videos for ICC class 10 students. Today we are going to study a very important chapter in point of view of ICC class 10 students. That is, my dear, that is transpiration. Okay. I hope this is visible to you. The board is making a lot of noise, but we will move ahead. We'll use the board only when it is required, or else we will be studying at our own terms. So, what is transpiration basically? Understanding the topic, what is transpiration? Transpiration is basically the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Okay. Then we can take down and summarize the topic as WV, that is water vapor. Yes, very good. Also, what are the aerial parts of the plant? The aerial parts of the plant are those parts which are actually in direct contact with sunlight. So, which are, which are actually in direct contact with sunlight. Can you imagine any of those parts of the plant? Yes, those are leaves. So, it is basically most of the transpiration happens from leaves. We will study about many types of transpiration later on, but we can actually note it down that most of the transpiration occurs from the leaf, which is one of the which is one of the aerial parts of the plant. Okay, so there are some things given in the ICC preferred Selena books, which I have with me now. Uh, that is the demonstration of transpiration. How do you demonstrate transpiration in itself? It can be demonstrated by using a paper bag. When you have a plant with you, you cover it with paper bag, then actually after some time you notice that the paper bag has many water droplets attached to it. That seems to be a loss of water from the plant. If I may draw this as a plant in itself, and this sorry for the ink, but this thing as the pot, then you will actually get to have water droplets everywhere in the same pack. Okay. Moving on, what is the indicator for transpiration? See, indicators such as, if you have studied chemistry, you must have read acids turn red litmus paper, blue litmus paper red. That is an indicator, right? So that indicates that the solution is an acid. What is the indicator for the plant? What is the indicator for transpiration? So the indicator we use for transpiration is basically cobalt chloride paper. That is C and Cl. We could write, sorry, my ink is not working, but we could write it as CnCl. That is cobalt chloride paper. So what is the change in cobalt chloride paper? That when cobalt chloride paper is blue, it is dry, it is blue, and when it is wet, it turns pink. Moving on to the next part, what do we have in our books is what is the measurement of transpiration. How do we measure the loss of water happening from the plant? So we do not actually measure the loss of water, but we measure the loss of water intake by the plant. So we use a few devices also, and there is one preliminary method. Preliminary method which scientists used was the weighing method. So they said, if we have a plant here and it is covered with the top surface is covered with oil, so as to stop evaporation, then actually after some time the weight of the plant or the weight of the tube in which the plant is, that will decrease. So the water levels will decrease. That indicates loss, right? The next method or a device which we actually discovered, let me check it if I can write it. That is okay. That is a potometer. Okay, that is a potometer. That is a potometer. There are many types of potometer: farmer's potometer, Ganong's potometer, and Gira's potometer. We have to study in our syllabus only about Ganong's potometer. If I'm sure, yes, about it. So what is Ganong's potometer? It is basically a horizontal tube with a reservoir and a tube and a plant attached to it. It basically measures the amount of water uptake by the plant. The amount of water uptake by the plant can be actually measured by the bubble which will flow around the glass tube, horizontal glass tube in itself. A very small topic, but questions may come from this in examinations. Also, moving on, what are the some disadvantages or precautions that we need to take? The precautions are that the plant needs to be cut only inside water and horizontally, so as to actually leave any path for the air to flow in. Air bubbles should not get into your leaves. Okay, and it should be made completely watertight for the same reasons. Now, what are some disadvantages? There are some disadvantages such as the bubble. It is introducing the bubble is not very easy. It is not very easy to actually introduce the bubble in the horizontal tube. Also, the twig or the plant which you are taking in to actually measure, that may not be alive for a very long time. So that those are few disadvantages of Gannon spotometer, but it helps us to measure transpiration. Okay. The next topic is what are the kinds of transpiration. As I have written, okay, let me write it down. What are the types of transpiration? See, there are basically three types of transpiration: stomatal transpiration, cuticular transpiration, and lenticular transpiration. What is stomatal transpiration? As I have said, it is basically through leaves. So stomatal transpiration is basically from the stomata. Where is the stomata located? It is located in the leaves. So it is basically a form of imbibition, which we can say. From surface attraction, these stomata pull up the water from the all of the plant, and then it evaporates from the stomata itself. What is cuticle? Many people do not know about cuticle. Cuticle, if you basically have a leaf here, there is an upper surface of the leaf. There is an epidermis formed on the upper surface, or a layer formed, a thick waxy layer formed on the upper surface, which can be written as cuticle. Okay, what is lenticel? Lenticels are small openings on the leaves, on the stems of the plants, from where considerable amount of transpiration occurs. We can classify three parts. Stomatal transpiration is the highest, then comes cuticular transpiration, and then lenticular transpiration. In some books, it is written differently. Please check it out for further content. Okay. Next thing we have again the cobalt chloride paper. Okay. See, even when stomata has a very big share of all the transpiration occurring, it is which side of the leaf does have more stomata, or which side of the leaf consequently causes more transpiration. See, the dorsiventral side of the leaf, that is the lower side of the leaf, has more stomata in it, and consequently it causes more transpiration from the same. Okay, that can be classified. The next thing we have is the stomatal regulation of transpiration. See, what happens is that when you lose water, when the plant loses much of water, it tends to wilt, it tends to lose its strength. So, in some cases of plants, they have some adaptations in themselves. That how can we actually stop transpiration? So, that is stomatal regulation. What is stomatal regulation? In some cases, the stomata are sunken. In some cases, the stomata are absent. And many other cases can occur, which is according to the plant's conditions, which we'll read further actually. Okay, cuticular transpiration, lenticular transpiration already explained. And what are the factors, external factors affecting transpiration? There are a few external factors affecting transpiration. That is the intensity of sunlight. First of all, more the sunlight the plant gets, more transpiration occurs. Temperature, higher the temperature, again higher the transpiration. Sorry. Okay. The velocity of wind increases, the transpiration in itself increases. Also, humidity. If the humidity increases, the transpiration will decrease, because if there is already water outside, its saturated content, you can't get in that water out from stomata or cuticle or lenticels. Carbon dioxide increases, transpiration decreases. Atmospheric pressure increases, transpiration decreases. Reasons you will be knowing in higher classes, you have to only study facts now. Okay, so adoptions. As I told of adoptions can be of several types. There are sunken stomata. Sunken stomata in the same way that if you have a leaf layer here, the stomata will go down. Where the stomata have to be here, the stomata will be sunken down. There is a very classical thing for examples of plants having sunken stomata, that is nerium. Nerium. Please know about it. Note it down. That is nerium. Also, there are a few more adoptions for having lesser transpiration. That is fewer stomata. Stomata number can be reduced. There can be narrower leaves so as to prevent transpiration from the stomata. There can be reduced exposed surfaces. The surfaces can be actually coiled up here. They can actually have spine formation so as to reduce the exposed surfaces. That is again the loss of leaves also acts as a way to prevent transpiration, and the thick cuticle. So if this epidermis layer is gets thicker, then you can increase the cuticle layer, which will prevent transpiration, which will prevent evaporation from happening. Okay. It's basically the significance now we have to talk about. There are many drawbacks, as we have told. It may lead the plant to wilt. It may lead to the loss of plant, it may lead to the loss of strength of the plant. But what is significance? Significance number one is the cooling effect. Significance number one is the cooling effect, and the significance number two is that it creates a suction force. So when the plant takes in water from the soil, right? Plant takes in water from the soil. So when there is transpiration happening, the plant is ready to take in more water. Plant is ready to take in more water. You can take in more water from the soil. Okay. There also the distribution of water and mineral salts. It helps in distributing the water and mineral salts due to unsaturation. It is constantly causing. Another very classic question for the ICSE students is guttation. What is guttation and bleeding? So bleeding, basically, as we see in humans, that the blood flowing from injured parts, it is similar in plants, the loss of sap from the injured parts in form of water and minerals. And guttation refers to in morning time when we see the dew, right? A type of the same phenomenon, but occurring from the hyadathodes or the margins of the leaves. Their hyadathodes are situated, which cause guttation in the form of water droplets. Many people get confused with guttation and bleeding, but transpiration is guttation and transpiration. Transpiration is basically loss of water vapor, and guttation is loss of water droplets. So this was it for today. We have quite well revised the chapter for transpiration. You may use it as a very good reference, and thank you for watching, and do subscribe. Bye.